This is the most significant UFO sighting of 1947. It happened just a few days before Roswell, in June of 1947. It has been generally swept under the rug as a single witness, easily dismissed as a misinterpretation of what was seen. As such, the military claims it was debunked. But what they never told us was that there were multiple witnesses in different locations at or near the same time seeing the exact same thing. In 1947, it was easy to keep these witnesses apart, not letting them compare their stories, dismissing their claims and keeping the press from picking up the similarities. But if any of these events had been publicized as being related to the Arnold sighting, I believe that the whole UFO narrative would have been vastly changed in 1947, and disclosure would have already happened. He was a pilot flying near Mount Rainier when he saw several shiny objects flying at impossible speeds. I first found another witness buried in the Project Blue Book files, a Fred Johnson, not even 50 miles away from where the Kenneth Arnold sighting was, and he saw the exact same thing that Kenneth did. His Project Blue Book case even references Arnold, listing the sightings as simultaneous. Johnson used a scope to look at the object. He wasn't looking at birds or any of the other things that they tried to dismiss Arnold's sighting with. Both Arnold and Johnson accounts relate that their compasses were going crazy at the time of the sighting. There was another private pilot who, on the same date, roughly 30 minutes before Arnold's sighting, reported seeing three strange objects flying almost edgewise towards Mount Rainier. Rainier remarked that these could be visitors from another planet. In Yakima, Ethel Wheelhouse reported seeing several flying discs moving at fantastic speeds. At a fire watchtower in Washington State, an official of the Forest Service reported seeing weird flashes over Mount Rainier. Sidney B. Gallagher of Washington State reported seeing 9 objects flash by to the north. Also on the same day in Seattle and Bremerton, there were additional reports of flashing, rapidly moving, unknown objects flying in the morning and at night. What do we make of all of this? Well, in this day and age, with social media, I think we'd have linked up these witness accounts. If we had had UFO-Track then, we'd have timestamps of the sightings, maps plotted for each of the location witnesses, and we would actually have a trajectory for these objects. But then, even if the other witnesses had made the connection, they saw the way that the authorities were just dismissing Kenneth Arnold with explanations like mirages, pelican, basically discrediting him and his report. But what if Kenneth Arnold had gotten together with even just a couple of these witnesses? That would have changed the ability of the government to dismiss this away. But if the Forest Service officer had also come forward, their credentials would have carried more weight. And if the press would have reported UFOs were buzzing the Pacific Northwest in June of 1947, and those witnesses were treated with respect, then more would have probably come forward. But I believe if these witnesses had connected, things would have changed so fundamentally that disclosure would have happened in 1947 because the evidence, even then, would have been overwhelming.